The views expressed by our guests in the following video are solely the opinions of our guests and do not necessarily reflect the views and or opinions of the Ola 7 podcast show. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to the Ola 7 podcast. My name is DJ Ola 7 Owen. We're Kwamadondo, the Chief Air Marshal. This is home of bold conversations and unforgettable stories. Today's guest is a gospel star, Tembalami. Once a pop artist with extra large, now a powerhouse in gospel music and Zimpraise. From the US tours to brand deals and hit songs like Ndione, like Jenny. His journey is so inspiring. Welcome to the show, my brother Tembalami. How are you?
Hola, thanks so much, Shawari. First time here.
It's the first time, by the way.
Yes, the last time we had an interview, it was still
radio.
Tichirugu Radio.
Exactly.
And getting here, I'm inspired.
Wow.
This is beautiful.
Thank you for coming, man. Otherwise, how's life? How's everything going?
No, it's been good. It's been good. We've got some events coming up, so sorry,
You and events. What's the thing, man? You and events. Like the other time, Tembalami is doing this, he's doing that. Is it like in you?
One of the things that as an artist that you need to learn is being an artist, just like you, a podcaster. You need to have so many streams of income. You get from digital, you get from streaming, you get from shows, you get from bookings and influencer deals and things like that. So organizing your own events is also one of those things, and it also gives you control in terms of what you give out, because kundikauya kushoka ola ndinonzi tiri kutaura kwe1 hour tavataenda but danga iri Tembalami show that is what ndikati ndoda kurowa all night all night. So every event where I'm invited, I work according to the invitation. But when I'm doing my event, I can curate it the way I want. I can design the stage the way I want. I can have the exact experience that I want for the people. So it makes it easier for us to do that.
Okay, that's great. So let's start from the top. Can you just walk us through your upbringing in Chitungwiza as Tembalami Tagwire?
Yeah, so I think God was preparing me for what I'm doing now. Because when you're Kanori Mfana, you don't understand kuti you grow up in Chitungwiza, every holiday unaenda kumusha, and then you go to boarding school, and then after that mari yoramba kutamba wodzokera kuchitungwiza kunodzidza kudemugeto ubva wapedza, and then you join a church yakaita kucelebration inechikara paside pemamiliyoni. You're like, what is going on? And then at some point you go and sing secular music, and then you come back and you're doing gospel music again, and all of that is just God preparing you for shavari kuda kuti uite. And in the moment yaunenge uchirarama usitomboziva zvatiri kutoita panapa itori plan yaMwari.
That's very true. You talked about being in a secular musician, secular artist. Then at what point did you then say, no, it's enough, let me just do gospel? And why?
One of the thing is, I've always been a Christian. So doing secular music was not me getting lost. It was me pursuing a musical career and a passion. The same way that you would be a podcaster and you're still a Christian. But the struggle that I had with me was the price that's expected to pay when you're a secular artist. It's not like what people think, that you signed a deal with the devil, that you go sell your soul. But what's required for you to trend, I've seen a lot of people on this podcast sell their soul, so to say, that you sell a piece of you every time you go out, because sometimes you have to do things that you don't believe in so that you either trend or you stay relevant. And sometimes you have to dress a certain way. There was a controversy about the Zimpraise. So as an artist, especially my ladies, sometimes they will have to wear things that they're not really comfortable in as a way of stage attire. And that's what makes you trend and be visible. But might not necessarily be what you believe in. So as an artist, I started to struggle with this. because at some point you have to play in a bar, you're not drinking, you're not smoking, you're
there.
You're that sober guy in the bar, and everyone is there, and
girls trying to twerk, you know.
And then deep down you're feeling, is this really me? So this struggle was always with me throughout my music career, even though I enjoyed it. And I learned a lot doing it.
We'll talk about that as well. But now let's talk about during your that uchikura, your upbringing, were you that person who angaita zvekuimba imba zviri mauri? Were there any signs to say, oh, there's an artist here, or zvakazongotanga?
The problem is I'd always been gifted, but it was not an option. Unozakana uchigona metsika zvinonetsa kuti ndakarova metsi kusvika kuMPC ku-A-level, but my physics teacher airamba achitaura kuti iwo mfane uri artist
exactly,
because I would find myself timu rairidza madeski tichirova mangoma. But for me, it was not an option. Because I didn't see the light, and I didn't see how someone can actually have a music career and actually do music as a career. And even now, Zimbabwe is not on it, because there are still people that ask me, Saka, besides music, but you'd never find someone, meet a lawyer or a doctor or a teacher and ask them,
besides teaching,
besides kurapa
exactly.
no one even asks that. So everyone looks at your job as a side hustle, and it's a tough one.
That's very true. Because I always get that as well. Apart from podcast, what do you do? They're like, podcasting, right?
I was going to say,
that's very true. Now let's talk about when you started to venture into music professionally. That's back in 2004. I understand you were part of the Zimbabwe's Urban Grooves, wave. You even collaborated with the Extra Large. Extra Large was a big group.
They're huge.
That time. How did you link up with them, being the young man from Chi-Town?
So what happened is, it's a funny story. I was a solo artist. Tatineka Beckett Studio in the Way Out. And Kushamula Newe was one of the songs that I wrote. That I think that was a
you
song.
wrote that song?
That was
Kushamula Newe. I remember this song, man. Hey, you deserve a pom 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 pom.
So it was one of the first songs that I wrote, and there was a friend of mine, his name is Victor.
Victor D.
Victor D.
Yes. I remember Victor D. I know Victor D.
Yes.
Where is he now?
He's still there in Chitungwiza.
Oh, okay.
He's still doing music here and there. So me and Victor D at the studio, because there were a lot of artists. It was more like a chill spot kind of vibe. So there were a lot of dancehall artists. So it was just me and Victor who were doing
Urban Grooves.
Singing. We were like close to Urban Grooves. So we wanted to do a collaboration that turned us into a group. So it became me and Victor and Temba. That was the name. We were not fancy.
Victor and Temba. You guys are not creative, man.
We're just starting. So we thought about what can we do to move out? When you're in Chitungwiza, and I want to speak to some young people in Chitungwiza right now. You can still come out on your own.
True.
You just have to learn what you need to do. For us, we thought we needed someone to get us out of the spot where we were in. So we then went to someone who was managing Extra Large, and we said, plus tine masongs edu aya zvikanzi hapana wangu mukaita collabo neboys rangu iri rine projects ari kubuda mai manje imi mutobva tangoita sei toda kuburitsa because I want to take over your management. And when you're a young artist, you don't know kuti manager anoshandira ola ashandire manager. So unongosina kunzwisisa dynamic iroro nezare kuti isusu takangokura tichifunga corporate kuti kana muri muoffice munhu anonzi manager ndiye boss. Ku-creative the artist is the boss, the manager gets paid by the artist, but isusu taitsvaga boss tikawana manager towatapiwa mari tovataningikina ubva cover my expenses uza uchibva uchitungisa unongoningikini usina kana rolon uchinowa digital so we went and recorded kushabula newe with Extra Large,
right?
And tarecorder, what we didn't know was Extra Large wangu watopedza album.
So it was an extra song, like a bonus track?
So no, they had finished their album.
Their own thing.
Isusu tichiri kutanga. So isusu tiri kuti chi genga riri kufeature chi pasong yedu towatabuda towatafire. Genga rapedza album. They took the album to yainzi TMC, which was a record company at the time. Yaibhadhara cash for projects. Vasitsa bva vateerera albums kanza iyi song ndo yakaipa. So that became their lead single.
They kushamula newe.
Of
which ongati ne album
rakakwana. So the single that we thought was our song that was going to put us on the map became a lead single Extra Large.
Okay.
And then I think ne kungotiri vafana copyright was not so important. Remember madezi ichamembe.
Plus unongopisa.
Badezi wayo unongosweta music. And don't waona vafana izo zvachitoita, and I give them advice. Kuti mfana kupisa kuna basa. Because isu takatomboita madiri kupisa.
Exactly.
So what they did is yakangonzi Extra Large kushamula newe vaenda ku radio.
Yakadaro.
So ukutendera mugeto ka wonzwa Power FM yakutoridza chi ngoma rakutorira Extra Large kushamula newe. Apa ndiwo wakanyora song hausi kutaurwa musong. So what they did is vanga paka sleeve kaya cassette papakaiswa kastar kuzasi kanzi introducing Victor Temba.
And you're like, what? We are the owners of this song.
Isu hatikunzwisi hatisati kuziva madhiri ekuti vanhu vanopiwa maadvance avakomana vaverengerwa chi vaverengerwa big.
How much was it?
Titoziva unoziva zvemari yetime iyoyo ndo time yekuti mari yakazochinja ikamboita mabillion trillion. Saka handichazive manumbers but yanga iri mari inotenga. And the only person akazotibatsira bless him Kalisto Nyamuti because ndo paakaita special meet and time iyoyo he also got an advance. But advance yake yanga iri shoma pane yakapiwa chi boys anotudza kuti atase
tapiwa mari
tadhonza big vakangodhonza big vakananga paiteni.
Do you feel betrayed by the guys?
Yes and no. At the time it was the culture. Because kuchamembe vanhu vaingoita masong vachingoita zvavari kuita. It was more the culture then. Kuti vanhu vaingoti we were kids. And I can't fault them. I would fault me for not knowing my business. Because the worst thing you can do, it was taida kurira takarira, but atina kurira zvataida isusu. But at the same time song yakarira yakatoenda number 1 pama station ese tikaita tumagala ku Mozambique because takazoenda tikaenda boys maita se matora mara mat short change zvikanzi aiwa ngatitese ngatichidhaya mashows tese
Mombotoro
mbichana but mbichana yanga iri kuti we are part of the team. They would still negotiate the deals and just decide kuti wafana toapa chi Maria Kart, which was okay because for us we didn't know kuti band rinoshanda sei Mariesa uzanoitwa kupi ndiana anoridza guitar, we didn't know all of that.
So in other words you're saying Extra Large, they played a very big role in shaping who you are today as an artist.
Yes, they were mentors. I can't fault them. I can't fault them. They were mentors. They were learning, but at the same time we were learning from them, because if it wasn't for them I would not have met people like Flash, people like Mark D, because we all met at this gig, the Extra Large in Dogataka, and it was the same band that we're playing with Tatina, same manager na Sandra Ndebele. So we experienced a lot of things, and my friends at Taita tena unita kuno open up for my chase, so uona uti babashiro warwita say, so there was a lot of education there.
As an artist, from the urban grooves era, pakapinda masongs like Wanda, unodzoka iretenda yanani, I remember all the songs from the urban grooves era. But which one is your favorite song from the urban grooves?
kwairowa masong
Yeah.
kwairowa masong but song inonzi nakai yaDisbo anga ari ma1
Nakai.
ndikutoiziva pandakaizwa
Yeah,
baba
yeah.
ndaifamba ndichienda kutown center ndiri muroad so ndichienda kutown center kudhiko yakwe ndakarowa yairira patakshop ndakarowa U10 ndikadzoka ndikamira patakshop ndichinzwa song baba ukaza unoda anesika jehovha wakasika mwana anesika iwe aiwa rega vanhu pafacebook mukoma dairira
It was a hit.
but it was crazy like
mabeba aipenga nesong
baba vanhu vaivairi maybe because I was a fan I wasn't a musician yet
exactly.
Maybe the way I'm experiencing music now is different so I don't understand maybe those zvinoita vanhu pavanonzwa the new music yatiri release but mudharaka song inonzi nakai inonzi ndizvo chete zvamuno iwe vanhu vaibika mahiti kani
but at one point it almost became like a jingle on Power FM. I remember every other presenter who's coming on air
baba ndizvo chete yakarira baba
like okay
so one of the things that I loved about vanhu veUrban Grooves era it was about the music. There was very little gimmicks because the problem now we have with social media and the music that we're producing now takutsvaga zvinhu zvinotrenda on social media. I can it's ndo zvatongovepo and ndo ya music acho you have to know how to trick the algorithm to get played because you can pick a song like Nishatis ndikuzwa kuda kushama unotoziva kuti vanhu vasina kukwana vachada kushama paTikTok and vachaishandisa so it becomes easy for you to trick then although she shocked me this year Nishatis bruh she's amazing.
No, Nisha is she's very talented artist and very creative as well. Looking at the age and also mapindira style.
I can see a progression because when she started, I think Tinashe has an eye for talent. Because when she started, I didn't pick it. I was like, but when looking at her now and how she has evolved, because I was ugly before. So I love music to that level.
And nguva yeUrban Grooves, yakachinja ndokufamba kwenguva, uye yakachinja futi mafambiro aita music patime iyoyo.
Definitely,
we saw, a time where local music became more dominant on the airways, but radio ichirira nechinhu. But how do you think the Urban Grooves era shaped the Zimbabwean music industry and how did it influence you personally as an artist?
I think the problem that we had was the 100% local content time. Yakaita a problem bichana. It was good in the sense that radio needed to fill all that space with music. The only problem is we didn't have enough studios to fill that space. So there was also a lot of junk that went on radio. But it then also gave Urban Grooves like it was something of low quality, something cheap, something that is not at the par with what was happening internationally. Which is why it took a lot for local artists to get the respect they deserve. Because if you look at South African artists, because DJs are not forced to play DJ Maphorisa. They will play Chris Brown and play DJ Maphorisa. So when people look at DJ Maphorisa, they have the same respect to say this is an artist. In Zim, it felt like we are not good enough, so we needed the law to switch off international music so that we can play.
But if you listen, 70% local music and then 30%.
But if you listen to the music that XQ was producing and what Rockford was doing and what even Extra Large was doing, it was a new blend of music that had space even on the radio stations, and DJs even loved playing Roy and Royce on radio.
I see. But time my PCM data. urban grooves and you make some baby crazy. And I know maybe some young girls, my baby I wonder would throw themselves.
My baby
Yeah, Tembalami, you know.
Yeah.
So my manager say, you know, in terms of just managing girls and stuff.
I think there was an era there where people got crazy.
Yeah.
One of the toughest thing is why maybe I would struggle even if my girl child said they want to pursue music is because they were fans. They would then come and leave. Sport for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of abuse that happened in that space.
Yeah.
And I would struggle to let my child do music. Unsupervised because it's just a bunch of kids. You're getting we're teenagers then. So you're getting a bunch of teenagers, just put them somewhere and just give them drugs and alcohol and see what happens. So that's the biggest issue that we have with our creative spaces. And I think that's where people like you and me come in to create a safe space for creatives to make sure that they can come record their music and go home without losing their way, because it was difficult, especially my days in Magala.
Exactly.
And we will be in every city and people would be crazy. I can't mention names because most of these artists are my friends. But I remember one artist slept with 4 girls in one night.
What?
I kid you not.
Pakadoma. 4 girls in one night. 4 in 1.
And then the girls were waiting when we were driving out. And he started laughing at them. Like, and then he starts laughing. But then, that's why I was saying that space was difficult for me. Because I was raised right. I'm a Christian child, even though I'm in this space. It was a struggle for me because I always looked at those girls as my little sisters. So I'm thinking, how would I feel as you treat her like this? But it was normal and it was common. I'm sure my face sound ever grows or go like
So now I'm thinking, you know, it's running through my mind. Okay, so who might be the guy?
I am not telling you, but it was bad. It was bad, and we kind of lost some of our friends from it in that era because of behavioral issues. So it's also, it brings back some sober feelings to say, time we needed a lot of mentorship, but then we were also stars. We were doing something new that hadn't been done. Music before us was done via record companies and all of this. Madara and Alena Dembo, those guys were organized. My instruments we brought in pop culture, which was different, image and all of these things. So it was a new space for everyone.
So your all-time favorite producer brother, that's McDonald McD Chidabayenzi, is now based in the UK, so he's now producing your music.
So what we've done with MacD, which is something that we keep doing, is we keep training people. If you look at Nyasha Timbe, who's doing well right now as a producer, he's a product of MacD.
Oh, wow.
There's a young man who I did the song Gorerino with Tadex made it. He also did Babara's whole album and a bunch of Freeman songs, Trevor Dongo's album. He's also a nephew to MacD who's running his studio right now. And because also the world has gone digital, I can always work with MacD even if he's there. So there is now space for young talent and also the established ones. I'm working on something with DJ Tamuka. I'm working with Ghost Magician. We worked with me for a season at my studio, and then he has grown to open his place. But we still work together. I still call him for projects. So we have groomed a lot of producers that do a lot of music. There's Wisdom Nyaparami, and there's also Tawanda Midzi. So we've got a lot of producers that we've now.
So they'll maintain your sound.
Yes,
they do understand your sound.
Yes, no, my sound is my sound. So you find that a lot of producers that produce my music, they'll still sound like me, because I am also a producer.
Oh, I see.
Yes, so I co-produce most of my stuff. So even whether I'm working with MacD or Tadix or Ghosts or...
Oh, you're also a producer? I didn't know.
Yes,
I didn't know. That's
producer,
good.
yeah.
So in October 2006, you co-founded Zimpraise, then Zim Choir, then alongside McDonald Chidawa and Zim, Garika Indanga, and then later Joseph Madzire. So can you just unpack, the birth of the group, its early struggles, and how each of you, contributed to shaping it into a national spiritual band?
So what happened with Zimpraise is MacD had the vision for Zimpraise. And then he came to me, Saba, and Trevor, and Trevor Dongo, yes. Nox was also part of
Nox
it.
Guni.
Yes, Nox Guni was part of it. And Pastor G was also there. Bethan Pasinawako was there. Kero Nyakujiga was there. So what MacD's idea for Zimpraise was, I want to do a compilation project with the artists that record with me.
Yeah.
So that's what God has given me. And then this project will then, maybe when we have time, use it as an evangelistic tool. Go to schools and you just perform together. That was his vision. It wasn't as grand as it is now. So we ran with that. We did the first Zimpraise choir. It was Zimpraise Project 1. And then we did Zimpraise Project 2. When we did the first one, we did that before Jose was part of Zimpraise. And we did an event at the Celebration Center. It was all funded by Pastor Crosby Mashiri. He had a company called Praise Petroleum then. And that was the first event that we did. But because the pastors that we were working with, they were part of a church, Irimuna Harare Drive. There was a choir there that they said, can we integrate the choir to back you guys? Because Zimpraise was artist. And who was going to do backing vocals You wouldn't see Tembalami doing backing vocals for Saba. We'd do that if we're doing like an event together or something, but not in a place like the Celebration Center. So we created a choir. Once we created a choir, after that event, we couldn't get rid of the choir. So it became Zimpraise with what? With the choir. That's how Zimpraise choir started. But then the problem now is, moving forward, we would have a school like whatever, Mazoe or Langam or whatever, say we want Zimpraise to come. It was easier for them because Zimpraise was a non-profit. So you are not going to get a bill from Saba or Temba or Pastor G who would just come. But the problem now is also artists, because this is our vocation. It meant I would be busy. Saba was like at the peak of his career at that time. So it was also difficult to get the artists there. So that's when I spoke to MacD and said, Maki, can we make Zimpraise not the artists? Because at the time, the choir was not the main thing. They were just background. And no one knew anyone from the choir.
It was just the face.
The artists were the face of Zimpraise. So it could not be Zimpraise without Tembalami, Pastor G, Trevor, Nox, and all these guys there. So it had to be everyone for it to be Zimpraise. Then we said, no, let's switch it up and say the choir is now Zimpraise and the artists are now featuring. So on the next Zimpraise project, that's when Jose had just come from Australia. That's when Jose joined and worked on this project that we did at 7 Arts. And that was the project that we then started pushing the choir. So we then moved forward with the choir, and then because the artists were still busy, it became difficult for Zimpraise to work with the artist. So Zimpraise started performing without the artist. And that's how the choir grew to where it is now. So there was a transition then, because when
Was it smooth?
Transitions are usually shaky. And how it became shaky is the visionary of this, MacD. MacD loves being in a studio. He goes out for events once in a while. But it's not his passion. He's passionate about being in a studio. Joseph Mazire loves running things. He's a CEO. I think also his background, like I was saying, your background sometimes leads you to where you are. Joseph, coming from being a son of the AFM
leader,
president, he had the character and had done internship all his life through his dad. So he knew how to run a big organization. Because before Joseph Mazire, we didn't have titles. It was Zimpraise, me and Ola and Shaky and all these guys were just doing our thing. Jose came, gave people titles. When he started, that's why I'm saying sometimes your background helps. Because he came, he says, now you are COO and I'm the CEO and you are the marketing manager and we are, this is a bunch of kids at now guys at the CEO. But then the vision that he had was brilliant, because the moment he started calling these people Mr. Ola and not Ola, it changed the way they looked at themselves.
So it is now about to commercialize the brand.
Yes. For us, it was not. It was more. It was our community project. For a lack of a better word. We were saying this is how we give back. So when I've done my events and I've made my money, I go to Zimpraise and we go to Goromons and do a show for young people, and God moves and we win souls for Christ and we go home. So even when we were doing these events, we'd just decide we want to go to Goromons and minister. So PA system yanzi 1,000. Inini Tembalami is at 250, Pastor is at 250, Saba is at 250, MacD is at 250. Let's go. And then choir would have married Zema Baz. Twitter say, Gati say 50-50. Twitter say Tochimanya. Jose comes is like, we are now putting order into this thing. But the problem now is everyone else who was there before him was a founder member. So how do you become a CEO of something? So he was facing resistance from us, because I talk about Ningin the CEO. So Jose started doing auditions. So Pakaramba Bachuya Fana Wanyoan. But wapana wanyone wakauya, they did not know Joseph. Wakasuana faro wanyone. Awanakuwa sazie Joseph. So MacD aga kutaka wea kuchinjaka taka. Awienzi much. So it started happening, and at some point I think MacD felt like it was a coup. So at some point they then just agreed with mkomana chitasi chimanya nechino
anakuramwiwe was it like an agreement or akaramwiwa nzasha
you know what happens with these things is, with the value that also Jose put into this thing, you can't really own it and say Chatakatanga 2006 is what it is, or what it was in 2013 when we let go of it. It was now different. It was a whole different monster, because Jose brought in creative marketing. Jose brought in so the way it now looked was now different. And even the members wangawanzi ma CEO ne ma CEO, they actually had ownership of the thing. I am a German. Vai ita chini chibati wango singachite. Isu tatango eta sara pa padid
chete
kuti takabata takanyorwa pabepa kuti ava ndo mafounders echinhu kumhanywa kwechinhu tatisisipo. So I'm proud of what Jose has turned this thing into.
As one of the founding members, Tembalami, what does the name Zimpraise mean to you? I mean, personally, both spiritually and culturally. How did you envision it, changing the gospel landscape in Zimbabwe?
Oh, it did a lot because we did not have something that had the power to rival Joyous Celebration. Joyous Celebration is so funded. Jose has had so many heartbreaks with Zimpraise, but still they are doing world tours now. And that's the level at which he's taken it. And I'm so proud of him, of the journey that he has walked. And it's not something that we thought one day would hear of a Zimpraise world tour. For us, Zimpraise was a project kedu paside. It was our
side hustle.
Side hustle.
Temba, between 2012 and 2014,
yes,
Zimpraise went through a turbulent, chapter. Paiwe nemishumo yakabuda yakawanda, nemirume yakangowanda itaurika kuti vanhu vakawanda vari kubuda vachisiya kwaya kupesana pamusoro pemari dzamaauditions futi dzaitaurika financial misconduct, and also pakabira nyaya dzekuti vatungamiri vekwaya vanga vasiri kuita vanga vakuita zvinhu zvisirizo nevana futi as well. Pakupira abuse twevana vechisikana vanga varimo zvakare. So I want to understand from you, Temba, what was really happening at that time.
I think what happens is ukaenda ku-youth ku-AFM kurufaro ku-youth abantu danho vakabata shamombe because vana upi vana
vakabata shamombe, so vana vachita mukwezo.
So when you look at it, it's just kids. Vana vanga vari together because Zimpraise was now 100-member choir. So my relationships are not toitika imomo because no one was married.
Because when I'm 100 members, is 50 boys, 50 girls.
So I wasn't part of Zimpraise then. I was now a solo artist. So that story more
new leadership.
So I can't speak to financial misconduct, but there's a tour that we did together that there were grievances from some of the artists that are now artists. And I actually spoke to them and said, you see, what Zimpraise is it's a choir. And what you guys charge as a choir is what I charge as a solo artist. And if you're going to divide that amongst the 40 of you, the touring team, you are not going to get as much. And if you then say, Jose, give me the same that you are getting, when he's the one who has invested more than all of you, and when there are losses, he's the one who's shouldering them, you are not being fair. So I would suggest, if you feel that you are not getting what you feel is due to you, it means wakura. Zvakangofanana nekuti uruda kudya drumstick kumba kwabereki. Drumstick rakanzi ndera dead. Chienda unoroja unotenga yako drumstick woita se woluma. So that's the advice I gave kuti iya muri kuona indo Zimpraise. If you want something different from Zimpraise, feel free to leave. And some left, some stayed, some left and then came back because it's easy for someone who's following to judge. Ukaona invoice rakanyorwa kunzi ola charger 2000 advert. Everyone thinks kuti tapa ola 2000, but ola is a company. Kune mabills, internet, zvakawanda zvese nepromotion yakaitwa before neichaitwa in the future neequipment nemakamera ndiri kuona ema-1000 akawanda ekuti no one knows how much has been invested and how much has been recouped so far, because I know there was a time Jose did an event in the National Sports Stadium and brought TDJ saana kuchipa anoita $60,000 kutaura one event. And that's what it costs because it's international. So akaunza munhu iye akapinda national wobuka National Sports Stadium wobhadhara magetsi wobhadhara security wobhadhara sound inokwana National Sports Stadium.
That's a lot of money.
And that event didn't go well. Guess who anosara akatakura the weight of the loss?
Josie now.
That's him. So if it makes money,
exactly.
Let him enjoy the fruits of his labor.
So what about these allegations okuti, vatungamiri, you were behaving, immorally, like sexually?
No,
was that true?
So these are unmarried people varuma early 20s.
Yeah.
Ndo vainze vatungamiri. So vatungori ma peers vakangosiyana ma title. So obviously ukatarisa even vapfana vakatanga Uber.
Yeah.
They ukaona the movie Uber,
exactly.
the gross misconduct it's because they're just young people.
Yeah.
So it was a group of young people, even Jose himself.
Yeah.
Because when Jose came to work with us, he was 5, 6, 7 years our junior. So isusu when we were now takupinda mama late 20s, Jose was 22 or 21.
Yeah.
So you can't expect him to act like the CEO and 50 years when he's 21. He's still finding his footing.
Yeah.
So wapiwa because that position that he had, Zimpraise yenge yakuzadza HICC.
Yeah.
And you're 22 years old. Uvona izgovwa miskope on 5 pambiri pe on 5,000 ubonzi ndiwe CEO. My baby esaka kutarisa. You can't expect that young man to deal with women the same way a 50-year-old man would do.
Yeah, that's very true. So what are the challenges, facing Zimbabwe gospel artists and also pane mareports ekupesana nekupira namagokoro kuri kuitika in that space as well kuti ari kupisa mbomira makadaro. So tinoti mbunzo zvakaiyatsomira sei?
I think it's some of the people think kuti uri kuiswa paside but ingori nyaya ye-level and expectation.
Yeah.
Ini ndikaita ka podcast kangu kandiri kutanga nefoni ndikati ola uya uite guest kuningikini kwangu unogona kusauya not because hausikuda but you have invested in brand rinonzi Ola 7.
Exactly.
And you want it respected to a certain level. And you want the person that invites you to be at a certain level.
Yeah, that's true.
So I get a lot of new artists that come to me and say ndoda to feature pa song yangu. But then you have not done enough work on yourself.
Yeah.
It's like ndangobva mu street ndingotendera nongo yapana pano ndoda kuenda pa podcast ya Ola. Ndiwani.
Exactly.
So you have to earn your right. And most gospel artists feel entitled kuti zvandinoziva minister maendera kuchechi ndikati ndoda kuita song yangu anofanira kuita song neni oitora oendesa ku radio oipromota pamasocial ake kuti inini ndibenefite. But life is not like that. Even though tichimba gospel
you really have to work hard for yourself.
Yes. And then gospel music yacho yakasiyana. Kune vanhu vanoita contemporary urban, kune vanhu vanoita traditional gospel. And maspaces iwayo akatosiyana and ticket price rakasiyana and venue dzakasiyana. So there are certain venues that I have made kuti inini as Tembalami I don't want to be there.
Yeah. But as a gospel artist, do you really have to choose a venue, or do you have to be picky, or you just have to be everywhere?
No, you can't. You can't be everywhere. Unfortunately, when I started, I thought I could be everywhere.
Oh yeah.
But you cannot be liked everywhere. There are a lot of people who maka Ola.
True.
Because they don't understand what a podcast is. And there will be people that will not understand what a contemporary gospel artist is.
Yeah.
So there are spaces kuti ndotoziva kuti uko handidanwi nekuti handifite into that space.
Okay.
And I'm okay with that because I know who I am.
Do you have like an example to say, oh, this space ola andikwanisa kupinda?
There are certain churches, I can't mention churches, but there are certain churches that I have felt so disrespected. Why? Because they do not value what I bring.
Okay.
So for me, if I go there, I'm just putting myself in a space of disrespect. The same way you would not go to a place where people don't understand what a podcast is. Because
that's very true.
Why is he inviting people? Why is he doing this? But it's because we don't understand. So there are churches where I would not go because inini music andoteerera ndoteerera Maverick City,
Exactly.
Elevation, Kirk Franklin, all of those people. So I have a certain standard yandinoti video yangu inofanira kushutwa neBlack Magic 4K zvichikwira.
Yeah, true.
Then kuna vamwe vanoti kana nefoni. So iye kana nefoni akandidaidza ari kuda kunoita event muHarare Gardens nemaplastic chair nesound yakachipa.
Exactly.
I don't want to be there because I don't want to experience my low quality events. And the people that follow my music will not even follow me there because they also have an expectation yekuti event ya Tembalami yakaita sei.
That's really clear, and I think that's deep also. It's also a learning curve. So there was a talk that men, my gospel artists akawanda amfanire kubhadharwa mari but to just be appreciated because
I've heard that one before.
So what's your take on that?
Like I said, life unosarudza zvaunoda zvinokuitira. Tembalami will not do free events because in my events angu, if I'm doing an event at the Celebration Center, the venue alone is $12,000. So I have to put down $12,000
for the venue.
Ndisati ndaprint a poster. Ndisati ndaudza sponsor. Ndisati ndaudza anyone. So ndinofanira kutoenda kunoisa deposit on the venue and make a commitment that I'm going to pay $12,000 for that venue. So if you want a free event, churches vanoita macrusade mahara are funded by the church. You can go there and do free, but Tembalami cannot do free because inini vanhu vanoridza mubendi mangu, they are employed by me. We have a contract. Hakuna event yandinoita ndinobhadhara my band member less than $100. Because itori shoma $100.
I see.
So even when I pay them $100, nenichitorwadziwa kuti because I know them personally. Havasingori mamercenaries vanongobva kwagumbonzva ndotoziva kumba kwavo, ndotoziva mai vavo, ndotoziva pavanogara. Some of them have wives and kids vanoda kutoenda kuchikoro. And when we play, that's how they pay their fees. Saka I don't understand this. Kuti uyu ari kuimba zvevanhu vari kutweka ndembanje nedoro ndo amunoda kubhadhara.
Ari kuimba zvamwari,
ari kuimba life changing things zvinokubatsira iwo, zvinokuburitsa munyatwa, zvinokubatsira wa at the point of suicide. Ngaashandire mahara. Ari kukupa life giving music. Uyu ari kuimba zvinokunyangadza ndo amuri kuda kusponsor, mopa mari, mopromota, mofarira. We need to do better.
That's eye-opening. It's really...
Then kana vana venyu manje vaenda kuzimu chakadaro vakapfeka kunge vaya vamuri kupa mari motanga kuchema kuti it's the society. No, it's you.
Exactly.
Because ndo zvamuri kupromota kumba kwenyu. If you set an example ukati inini ndiri businessman, I'm the billionaire, mari yangu inini ndikuda kusponsor munhu anoimba gospel, you have set an example of what is acceptable in your house. But if you don't invest in someone who's singing live and you invest in other things, then wozoda mwana wako akutweka aine 5 years wozotanga kuchema kuti the society. No,
it's you. That's really deep. So with the constant pressure to stay relevant, Tembalami, how do you balance maintaining your core gospel identity while also evolving musically to meet modern trends?
One of the things that I always speak to my young artists is what's the vision? What's the plan? So as long as we're in a vision, and I saw this Nema companies akawanda, they actually tell you this is our brand manual. Re Ola 7 podcast. Tinodaiso. My stories are the I.
Yes.
So no matter what is happening out there, and that's what they do. Ukaenda kwa another podcast, isu tunoita business.
Exactly.
Tunounza ma CEO nemachi. That's what they do. But Ola is not that podcast.
Exactly.
So even me as an artist, I have a vision. I'm an inspirational gospel artist. When I sing my music, it should leave you inspired. So I'm not trying to get the next trend. As long as I keep giving you inspirational gospel music, I will stay relevant. And that's why I connect with artists like Natty O. because we speak the same language.
Yeah, that's very true. So Temba, over the years, we have seen you perform on platforms that also features, or feature secular artists.
Yes.
Vamwe vanti ndizvo zvinonzi outreach.
Yes.
But vamwe vanozvipoka nawo, vamwe vanobvunza kuti ko izvi hazvinyatsobatanidza here vanhu vakusangana mharidzo negospel nevasiri vechitendero. So semuimbi wegospel, Tembalami, how do you personally justify sharing the stage with the artist whose content or lifestyle may not align with your Christian values?
I think Christianity inofana kuterwa uchishandisa faith, not fear.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are afraid kuti ndinozokorruptwa, ndinozodai. So but kana uchishandisa faith, Jesu pesi pavakaenda kumba kwemunhu, he didn't leave them the same.
Yeah.
Akaenda kunogara nematax collector, akanogara nana Nicodemus wakauya usiku, nanachi, all these people, Jesu didn't close his doors. Akagezwa tsoka nepfambi yaizikanwa Harare yese. Gaya Tembalami achigezwa tsoka nepfambi inozikanwa social media yese. Batonas kuti uyu ndiye anopisa uyu. Pobuda video ndichigezwa tsoka baba. So
but for Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so when people wanted to chase these people, Jesu akati vasiye. So there is a space and expectation for everything.
Right.
So inini ndikadaidza a secular artist ndikaimba naye Jesu, aka experience what it means to produce music inochinja life yemunhu, because the music yatinogadzira isusu baba mukaenda ma comment section, people are experiencing the most.
Yeah, very true.
And when they meet our music, anenge afirwa, adzingwa basa, ari discouraged, ari the point of suicide, arichi. So sometimes we need to give our young secular artists an experience. How does it feel to produce something chinochinja life yemunhu? Because all they are used to is my love, nema likes. Inini comment ndakatovinga pa music yangu nzi chakaipa chibaba, you never disappoint. I don't like those because it means I haven't done my work. It's drawing attention to me, not to the work that I'm doing.
Oh yeah. So what about kuzotounza a secular artist muchurch to perform?
I disagree with that. The reason being, there's nothing wrong with secular music. It's just the expectation. Inini kana ndauya kuchurch ola, ndiriku expecta kuti ndikuya kuzoministirwa my soul and my spirit. Vanhu vanotouya vakatakura zvinhu zvinorema. And if I wanted kunzwa baba Shero vanoridza kuma family show, kunana okay grand challenge, kunana chi, I can still go listen to him there. But when I come to church, there's an expectation yekuti I want to worship my God here.
Exactly.
So
you want that music that irikuisa page when Mwari.
Irkundiisa in that space yekuti ndauya kuzotaura naMwari.
Mababy nekurofara unzo.
Exactly.
Idakutwekwa.
Kana nchida kutweka, there are enough spaces on a Saturday night where I can go and twerk. There is music that I can use. Isusu takatoperekedza ndingeke muchato ne mundigumbuke amaina. Aitotonakirwa nababa Sharo zvekutodaro. But kana ndauya kuchechi handina kuya kusonzwa baba Shero. Even though there's nothing wrong with him.
Exactly.
So it's just an expectation yekuti kana ndaenda kukitchen handisikuda kuwana toilet mukitchen. Even though toilet iri important, kitchen iri important.
Chimwe nechimwe panzvimbo yacho.
Chunhu nechunhu chine nzvimbo yacho. Zvangumana kuti munhu obatidza ola podcast owana paine 2 maprayer ori ari kurobatidza ari shakara basanda rikeseteke rakata azviite because haana kuya ari kuda kunzwa mastori ari kubiza. So there should be an expectation. Tikaenda ku Duke and Slay, havasi kuda kuona take sure. Even though vanhu vese variko vachimuda, but havasi kuda kuti vakadzidza vakazvita, havasi kuda izvozvo. So there is nothing wrong with having texture there, but it will be a disservice to the expectation yevanhu Duke and Slay.
So Bible rinoti mu 2 Corinthians 6 verse 14, musasunganidzwe nevasingatendi. So, told that Jesu aimbojika nevateresi nevakatadza. You actually give an example of that woman akatogeza tsoka dza Jesu. In Matthew 9 verse 10 to 13, mashoko yayo arimo ekutaura kwejesu tichiona Jesu achiita sei achizoitwa achidya nevateresi. But where do we then draw the line?
Where we draw the line is the word says, do not be deceived.
Yeah.
Bad company ruins good morals. So I can tell you this, Ola. Kune dzimwe shamwari dzangu so. Dzekuti pese pandinoenda pavari varingotaura mabhebi chete. I telling you kuti pandinobva ipapo ndinotombopinda paInstagram ndichitombotarisa kuti alpha, because pfungwa dzako dzamova from there. Even kubusiness chaipo vanoti ukaspenda time nema-high achievers, productivity yako inokwira 15%.
Wow.
By just sitting there. Ndikangoenda ndikagara newe Ola kwanza kuti ndabva kumeeting yakati ndaclose a deal re 5000 ndikabva kundikaningekena. It puts me in the space kuti saka ndiri kutamba.
Exactly.
Rega ndimbofona, rega ndimboningekena, because wandipa influence. But ndikagara pakona neboys repakona re pachitown re chiti uri kuona kuti mastreets aya ghetto youth ari nana charinowana unoziva kuti naitofunga kuti timboenda uchi ndine 5 timboenda tunotenga tumbo katino. Your productivity decreases 30%.
That's double.
Yes. So zvese izvo zvinokonzerwa nekuti the company you keep, there is nothing wrong with spending a few minutes, hours with some of your friends vasingafunge the same way you do. But ukazongoti every day uri kuningirikena ungospenda time iyoyo, even vari muchaiva vakataura kuti ukaspenda time yakawanda uri mubhabhashop uchazongogerwa. Unogerwa. Unogerwa.
You know what? I had an interview with Baba a few weeks ago.
Yes.
Vakataura kuti mashoko ekuti your music, yes, and it is spiritual. And because of that, and he found, akabva choose a new journey yekuti ndakutera zvekutenda. Because akati inini ndakuita zvandakuita izvi ndabva ndasiya kuteerera music yesecular. Akati I don't listen to it anymore. Akati ndateerera. So internationally, imimi makazvitarisawo nezvinoitwa nemamwe artists ekune dzimwe nyika. Uchinzoti muartist wegospel, but ichiona maybe kwavanenge vachitambirawo kwacho toonawo zvekuzimbabwe, vanhu vekuzimbabwe vanhu vanofara kana kuti tine katrend kuti tinoona kuti chiri kupisa kunze kwenyika chii, toda kutira kuchiimplementa kwedu. Tikaona kuti said you mentioned about Franklin kuti ndo favorite artist wenyu, for example, ukaona achitofarira kana Snoop Dogg, then unovhara kufunga kuti so there's nothing wrong ngakuteerera nhengi even locally wekunoku. So Baba when you say every music yese iri spiritual, indira kunzwa kuti what's your take on that? Tingati the music yese iri spiritual according to mazire enyu, secular and also gospel,
this
traditional?
Is my take. Music kana waenda ku music theory, every beat rine zvarinoita mauri. It's not really spiritual, but it steers your soul. Your mind ine zvainoresponda to. So kuna hatinoti ma-happy chords ku music. Ekuti pasina chaimbwa zvinongonakidza. Then kozoita watinoti melancholic chords anoita kuti upinde mumafeels. Ekuti pane zvimwe zvokuti zvikaridzwa ukambona kuti uchiona movie anditi pane a sad scene wobva wabuda kana kuti unomira mukitchen, sad scene ichiplaya paine background yemusic unotanga kutonzwa kusuwa. So it's because pabatwa
ma-keys
chords anoita izvozvo. So it's not really spiritual, it's just music theory zvayakaita. And then kune yatinoti sensual music yekuti chero kakarira unotongonzwa kuda kutweka, unoida kutotweka, zvitori mulevel iyoyo. So I wouldn't say iyoyo music iri wrong, because iwe kana ola wa mubedroom namadam wako unoridza chi unogona kutodaka let's get it on. So kane place yako yakanoshanda. Because zvakaita music, music is like a pad and a pencil. zvaunodrowa iwewe is up to you.
Yeah.
Ndounodecide kuti uda kudrowa music yakaita sei. So when I listen to music, I listen to lyrical content, I listen to the music production. I want to know what makes this song tick.
Yeah.
What makes me respond the way I'm responding to this song.
Yeah.
And then he was also right to say it can be spiritual in the sense that it's more soul than, because separation is soul and spirit. Separate one the word, which is sharper than a two-edged sword.
Yeah.
Meaning your spirit and your soul are intertwined like this. So if something makes you sad, it also agitates your spirit.
Oh yeah.
So I guess that's why it is spiritual. But I'll take music like food offered to idols. Paul says, kune vadoti pork inini haindi affect. Kozoita vamwe vanoti chi inondi affect.
Yeah.
So I found artists like Tupac when I was growing up.
Yeah.
I found them very educational. I understood how America works for the black person through how he was telling his stories.
Exactly.
And someone would just say, this is gangster music, it's evil, and then you chunk it out.
Yeah.
So there's an artistic side to music and a storytelling side to music that can change people. Ukatotarisana Thomas Mapfumo wanga singaimbe gospel music, but ndo music yakaita kuti ma-freedom fighters amhanye musango
yaitwa pa energy motivation as well.
Nyoka musango.
Exactly.
So it was something that motivated people to keep going vachita zvavari kuita. So every music in a place yayo haifana kungoridzwa pasi ripo chete.
Let's move on, Temba. You've previously mentioned your wife and children.
Yes.
But there's not much, publicly known about your personal life. Some followers say your wife is based abroad while you and children live here in Zimbabwe. It's not really new because a lot of people were in that setup because of Mabasa and stuff. So could you just kind of clarify, your current family arrangement and how you've been, navigating parenting and also marriage across different countries?
Oh yeah. So the thing with me, Ola, is when we just got married, someone, not ill-intended, just took a picture of me and my wife and put it online. And the attacks that we got from that one picture
was too much.
There's a guy who went to the UZ. We didn't even go to MSU where my wife went. Akangosvika akanyora papost kuti kabhebi kaibaisa kakaroorwa natembalami kaibaisa college.
Jeez.
And this guy didn't even know my wife. So pakangodaro akabva avhura can of worms. Unongoziva zvinoita vanhu vanotsvaga negative. Zvikanzi ndo zvinotoitika mahure ndo anoroorwa. Chichichi. Ndobva nhongwana aya Harare bva yanokandwa kublog. Tembalami's wife past catches up with her. Munhu apinda magumbeze afuga musoro akuenda noti nai wakandiona kupi. The friends from school now, her friends from school vajambirawo ari kunyeba munhu zvanzi matengwa. And then it just became something so huge. I think inenge yakaita kuma 5,000 comments.
No, I can imagine.
Then vaenda kutwitter. Kutwitter yanga ane headline yakanzi Tembalami living wife because of prostitution at university. Ndakutanga kupinzirwa mafoni
kunzi koiwe
ko munenge naye kunokuramba mukadzi zvekuchikoro hazvina chi ndakufonerwa because mamento wangu akundifonera
apa kuti boys mukunyeperwa boys.
So inini what I had said to her is don't engage.
Exactly.
But as she has never been in that space. So from then we agreed that my wife and my kids are not the public figures.
I like that.
And I did another comedy special, the Naijo Chanakia.
Exactly.
And then people went online. They brought it back. The whole comedy show became a Tembalami roast. Mkadzi wa Tembalami anima problems. So from then onwards, I try and shield my wife and family because she didn't choose.
But did that break you in any way?
No, for me, I'm a public figure.
Yeah, what about the wife?
She struggled.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Depression.
I can imagine.
She didn't believe that I actually understand this is just
aingoti pamwe murume wangu
believer and you never trust me again. So airamba achingondibvunza, are you okay? Do you need to call people vanenge vari muclass medu? You can just ask any of them of my character ndiri kuchikoro. She tried to plead with me. It was a scar that at some point actually had to pay people to take down those things, those blogs, because they stayed there. And every time you went to Google Tembalami, the first thing what will be suggested is Tembalami wife, because it trended.
Baba.
So as much as I would love to talk about my wife and my family, I keep them away from. I will never use my wife as a tool for me to get ahead. From then onwards, the only time we did it is when we went on our perfect wedding on DSTV when we got married.
I saw that one,
and that was the last of it.
I saw that one.
We do not do that.
I like that. I like that, and I'm sorry about about that. What you went through, I can imagine. It's just being trolled.
For me, it was okay because I chose this life. But my wife is not married to Tembalami.
Exactly.
She's married to Temba Tagwirei, Baba Eli, vanouya kana vatasvika kumba tobika sadza todya. So it was a difficult moment for her. And I would not wish that for her on any platform. So I usually shy away from bringing my family into any topic.
I like that. Temba, you've been married for, since 2018. And I want to understand from you how has marriage, shaped you as a man, a father, and also a gospel minister. In what ways has your family influenced your music and your ministry?
Baba, marriage is something that we don't train our kids for. I wish I was better equipped when I went in there. I wasn't a good husband. Because I was learning. I'm sure she wasn't a good wife either. Because we had so much to learn. And you get in there, what worked for our parents doesn't work for us anymore.
That's true.
Because kudara mai vangu inini vakakurira kwaZvimba. Mudhara wangu akakurira kuShavana. These people met in Harare. Ndo pakaita love yavo. Vangopedza kuti takudanana. Chairman bvaenda vanobvisa mari kwaZvimba. Vatakura mukadzi wavo vaenda naye kuShavana. Meaning kuti munhu wese aizivana namai vangu. All of them. Hapana wakazombotaura naye mulife. Except hama dzavo dzavaizoona kana paitika nhamo paitika
events
chete. Maybe my neighbors aizouya vauya kunhamo. Vaitosvika vatunzi nevana 3 ne5 years asina kuuya kuno. But being a husband who is in contact with all your exes, even primary.
I understand what you're saying, Tembalami, and it's really making sense here. But I want to understand newe basa rago nemaramiro ako kuti kugara semunhu wemurume uri kure nemudzimai wako hazvisi nyore. Munoita sei kuti murambe makabatana mupfungwa, mumweya, kunyange musiri gagari pamwe chete?
Baba, ndo test hombe mulife. I think vanhu vakangogadzirwa kuti vagare vari together. Kungoti technology yanaka zvayo now, and we get to do video calls. And vana vanokwanisa kuonawo mai vavo every day. So they're in constant contact, but you can actually tell kuti munhu asuwa vana vake and vana vari kuda touch ya mai vavo. So it's not easy.
So how do you as a father provide like emotional stability for them in that dynamic?
I unotoita show up for everything. Sport, like not drive vana vangu kuchikoro nekuvatora every day. I have to do extra kutoti this weekend tokuenda kutamba toenda tonotamba tese imomo tobva toti takuenda kujambuzimu tonojamba todzoka tochovha mabhasikoro toita say you have to overcompensate because you're the parent aripo. Because when she was here it was easier because unongoziva kuti kana ndabva kubasa kana ndakanoita inoita homework namoms now ndofanira kuti nditoripo pahomework tinoti the M with the O with the
but I think in a way it also makes it easier for vana to bond with their father. Because in this society atikuona matiri mairi vana vachinja vana bond nababa wavo. Todaro vanhu vasina kana bond emotional anything nanamudara.
Ini ndakatozoita bond namudhara wangu ndakura.
You see?
But when I was younger,
yeah.
mudhara wangu aishanda mashifts and aingodzoka kumba achitonga akatsamwa, but
exactly.
he was just tired.
Yeah.
And unozatuma questions twemwana akatonyongobvunza kuti nai baba kuchamva ndekupi? So I also see it in my kids. They come and ask the most ridiculous questions.
Exactly like that.
Hey, I have to be patient. No,
I understand. But many people, are also navigating cross-border marriages or long-distance relationships. So based on your experience, Tembalami, what advice would you give them pamusoro pekuchengetedza rudo rwavo rwavanenge vainarwo, also kuimbana, nyaya dzetrust, and also kuremekedzana kunyangwe makaparadzana nyaya yedistance kuti umwe ari uko umwe ari uko?
No, it's a huge test. Problem yatinayo sometimes is kuroorana tiri muZimbabwe. Kune mapressures mamwe anoita kuti vanhu varoorane. Kuti unongoona kuti zvinhu hazvisi kufamba, tine boyfriend toda kundoroora, you get married for economic reasons. And then once wakudiaspora obva watanga kuona kuti ndakutobatawo yangu mari. So that person might stop being as appealing. So marriage counselor anotibatsira izvo kuti never stop dating. Mofana kutoramba uchitoita kunge wakamuona nezuro. For men it's difficult. But with technology now, I think it's a bit easier. And then if possible, endai ikoko.
But it's a big test. I think what people wonder, it's really difficult, especially when you're in Zimbabwe, especially the male men is in Zimbabwe. The woman in diaspora. Because Zimbabwe uri in a pool of one watch unlike vice versa. When you go abroad uri murume,
then Zimbabwe inonetsa kuti haina structure. Chinhu chinochengetedza munhu even in marriage is structure. What helps me is ndoziva kuti ndobva kumba na6 ndotopa vana vangu chikoro na7 ndopinda muoffice na10 past 7 vana vangu vanopedza chikoro na1:30 ndopika vana ndoya navo paoffice ndogara navo 1 hour 1.5 hours 3:30 ndodrive ndakuenda kumba. I do that every day. So that routine keeps me safe. Ukashaya routine mulife,
pese uripo anything
ukangobatikira there's a high chance yekuti unodhumana nezvakawanda. And that's what makes vanhu vekuEngland crazy pavanozoenda kuZimpraise. Because vanhu vaya vanoshanda ma12 hours, anobva kubasa orara, obva kubasa orara, odzokera kubasa orara, obva kubasa orara, panozowana kuti kwazoitwa Zimpraise vanotoita kutsvaga ma-off days 3 months in advance kuti handisi kutozoita shift day reZimpraise. So pavanobuda vanoita nge mumbeena umashanga baba.
So let's talk about some of these issues that good trade these days. Kumakereke as whatever. Recently Prophet Magaya was seen praying over what he called anointed apples, which were then sold to congregate for $10 each, while regular apples are cost around $1 for 8. So some people are saying one, and some are saying this is a demonstration of faith, while others argue it's spiritual manipulation or commercialization of belief. So as someone grounded in the word and active in the ministry, what's your personal view, and more importantly, what does the Bible say about practices like this?
The thing with spirituality inonetsera pakuti Jesu chaiye achirapa munhu ane munhu wakasvipira maoko akasora madhaka vazvinura. So it's difficult to judge zvinhu zvawataura iwewe sapastor naMwari. That's why even in the Bible Jesu akapa parable of the tares kuti regai zvikurirani pachabuda mafruits. So kana ari anointed apple ari kufanira kurapa vanhu vapora here, kana ari ekuti ari kufanira kuburitsa musituation wabuda here, then you know the answer. So I can't give the answer because ina handina kupiwa apple pamwe dai life yangu itori better because ndine GT6 yandiri kuda pamwe dai ndatoinayo. So it's difficult for me to say it's either wrong or right, because iwo Jesu chaivo vakati regai zvikurirani tichazviona nemafruits azvo. And one thing about church that I've seen is we have seen so many churches that have come before the churches that we have now.
Yeah, true.
Dzenhema hadzilast. It's difficult kuita chinhu chenhema chinoita se
chinorova for long.
chinozongobuda netime ndoemenzanisi so zvinozongoita se zvinozongopera. So
yeah, now let's talk about tinoona nyaya dzevatungamiri vemachechi. Vatungamiri, most of the spiritual leaders even vemachechi akasiyana siyana varorama a lavish lifestyle. They've got big houses, nice vehicles, while at least those ovano leader are actually struggling. They are poor. Why is that? So I'm not going to say gospel.
I think we need to be honest with each other as leaders.
Yeah.
Kuti tichengetedze chinhu chinonzi church chichimake sense, because most of the gimmicks that took now kune mamwe kune dzimwe nyika zvakatoitika. Kuafrica zvasati zvako, but now zvako, and tichapedzera tisisina makristu. Because if I am your leader, Ola, and I'm telling you that I'm a millionaire, then I should not be shy or hiding kuti iri kubva kupi mari yacho. Because I am teaching you things that pertain to life. And money plays a big role in life yemunhu. Anyone. That's why Bible usually money answers all things.
All things, yeah, true.
So I should be able to tell. Dosa uchona Bible musina disciple wakanyorwa akanzi uyu anga angori mudzidzi waJesu asi anga ane mari but hapana iziva kuti inobva kupi. Hakuna akadaro wetonzi uyu ndi tax collector, uyu ndi fisherman, uyu ndiningi, mabasa avo aita se aizikanwa. So inini most of the time ukaona mufundisi ari rich achikudza kuti ndine mabusiness, musingazive mabusiness acho, ndimi business racho. You are the business ndimi
the congregants,
ndimi muri kukangwa. So it's simple. Strive Masiwa is a billionaire. Ane Econet ne EcoCash inosave millions of people ndokunobva mari yake. Bill Gates ane Microsoft aisa Windows software nema MS Word nema chi worldwide nema computer ndokunobva mabhillion ake. Elon Musk ane Tesla. Iwewe mfundisi unoita nezve because Paul was a tent maker. Izvo tinoziva zvakatorekodwa mubhaibheri. So atidi kuita hocus pocus when it comes to your source of income. Kana uri kungotambira from mari dzematithe, chingotaura ndotambira chi mari dzematithe. There's nothing wrong with that.
Pawatotaura about Tembalami, pawataura nyaya dzematithe, tikatarisa mubhaibheri macho kuna Numeri 18 verse 21 and also Deuteronomy 14:28 to verse 28 to 29.
Kuri kuparidza baba.
Mutero tithe wainangana nechengetedzo yetemberi uye kubatsirawo zvakare varombo. Ndo zvatinoona mushoko iri. But mazuva anaya mari dzemitero iyi nemari dzematithe dziri kushandiswawo sei kana wakazvitarisawo, my brother?
I think every organization is different because machechi atanawo maorganization. Jesu vakatouya vakatoona chechi dzedu idzi nechechi yavakasiya zvakatosiyana. We have created systems on how we run church and there's nothing wrong with that. And in the process yekutraya kuchengetedza sometimes hatikwanise kuti titsiure ana baba vedu, but chinhu chinonzi tithe chakaexplainwa use yacho and how it was supposed to be kept. And chakagadzirwa chinhu chinonzi temple, and temple yanga iriko, and temple yanga ine storehouse yaitochengeta grain, yaichengeta uyezve mari. And paizoti pakaita gore renzara vanhu vaienda kutemple ikoko vonotora grain
ndo yobatsira
vanhu. So we should be able to say from our coffers vari kutambudzika muchechi medu vari kubatsirika here. Kana vasiri kubatsirika, then we need to do better as a church organization. And we need to find ways ekumanage our resources so that tisarambe tichitora from vanhu vasina,
because kuwanda kuita machurches kuita ngekuwanda kweshoko, kuita ngekukura kwechechi, but kuri kuda kuwanda kwekutora futi mari kuti ndakutanga kangu ndimbobenefitawo
ndimbotonza. No, zviriko, because what's happening now, Ola, the sad thing chakaunzwa nesocial media. Social media is good. Titoripa social media is
exactly.
But also yakagadzira, yakapa voice kuna everyone. So maprofeti echokwadi akatouyawo akatoita discipleship vakatogadzira maprofeti echokwadi
Yeah.
venhema vaida kuwanawo mari newei yekubira vanhu nayo mari
Yeah.
vakatowanawo vakatogadzirawo tumamini twavo vatori necommunity yavo yavanotodaidzana vachiita maskiri avo
Yes.
ekudhonza bag which is now the sad thing now because even vebestiality yekuti anodanana nemombe kana kudana nembudzi akatogadzirawo kacommunity kake online kevanhu vanodana nembudzi goat lovers association.
Exactly. Good lovers.
So that's the sad thing about social media now. And kuchechi, we need to really define what a tithe is and what it is used for.
Because papa imwe nyaya yakupinda these days seeding. These days akanya kupisa nyaya seeding. And also vafundisi vanobvunza kuti kana usingadyari haungakohwi. So ndiko kuti mari inounza makombero ukangoasidhawo mari yako uku unowanawo zvakawanda but ndizvo here pana Mwari.
Inini handisati ndariona scripture racho. Scripture randoziva ini ndeyekunzi Mwari vanoblessa the works of your hands.
Okay.
Ukaisa makamera aya waisa aya ola nemamicrophone akanaka ari kusounda nice aya Mwari vanoblessa mabasa emaoko ako.
That's very true.
So what you provide for humanity will bring you again. That is why Bible richiti God brings down the rain on the righteous and the non-righteous. Meaning kuti iye sowing and reaping haisi haina kunyanya kuzembera kushoko
maningi.
Yakazembera ku wapinda munda warima wadyara Mwari vanaisa mvura unokohwa. Bread, a seed to the sower, bread to the eater. But yekuti ndaisa mari muchechi ndobva ndawana haisi biblical steric. Because Mwari inonzi love offering kupa nemoyo unoda. And inini when I'm giving to my church, I get in that church, I see the nice seats that I'm sitting in. There's air conditioning, there's good sound that needs to be maintained. That's my community. So I give towards it. We have compassion ministries, nema orphanages at Nochengeta. It's part of my community. Ma orphanages edu, I give towards that. Apadi kana kukoneswa, kana kuudzwa amashoko akawanda sterek. It's just like that. And look at some Bible early church engonzi, and they brought what they had and they shared amongst each other and none of them lacked. So kana menyu mwine vari kuleka vakawanda then church yenyu nemubhaibheri zvaita
zvakasiyana. Munofanira kutoro ipapa muchindobatsira vacho.
Exactly.
That's very very
powerful. So ngatiregei kuti church ite nzvimbo yekushainirana because a community can turn into that. And vanhu vanopedzera vamatsotsi vachivharana vachita sei kuti vatenge majeli nemarose muchechi.
Very powerful, indeed, like this conversation that I'm having with Tembalami Tagwire. It's really informative as well.
Yes.
As I'm talking to you right now, I'm also learning new stuff. I'm getting new, perceptions as well. Yes. Now, Tembalami se muimbi watagara tichiziya zvedu. Can we expect a new live DVD, a fresh project, a major concert that celebrates your next chapter in gospel music?
Definitely. Where I'm going towards now, I'm going towards retirement. My manje is my band ndenda kusira oveshidika it's a young men's game. So where I'm going towards now is training. So ndine event on Inspired Worship where we are training musicians in the church because toda excellence atiskuda crusade style muna 2025. So we're training pianists, musicians, videographers, photographers, lighting, stage, songwriting, worship leading, choir direction, and I'm bringing people that are actually doing it, not on a theory. So Janet Manyo will be teaching songwriting, textual songwriting. Michael Maendere will be teaching choir dynamics. Pastor Bono will be teaching worship leading. Tremi Amsipa will be teaching piano. Simbanga Zimbi will be teaching technology in band direction, band dynamics, use of AI, etc. How do we use those things? We've got people that are teaching presentations, video filming, all of those things. And then on the Saturday we have a concert that we are doing, a big one at Celebration Center over the Heroes Weekend.
So like, are you selling tickets or this is for free?
Oh, we're selling tickets.
So how can we get those tickets?
The tickets are available at Med Orange.
Yeah.
They're also available on tikiti.co.zw. They're also available at Health Partner Pharmacy and Worldwide Bookstore. So wherever is closer to you, but also online,
Yeah.
tikiti.co.zw is closest to everyone because it's right on your phone.
Great. So how can people get in touch with you, my brother?
I'm Tembalami on everything. So our social platforms are all open. You can just slide into our DMs and talk to us. We'll be able to assist if it's a booking, if it's something that you need help with.
Strictly business, guys.
Yes.
Business. Miss Pai. No, that's fine, my brother Tembalami. Thank you so much for coming to our podcast.
Yeah.
And maybe you've got your parting shots.
Yeah. So my parting shots is, as the body of Christ, let's try and not to tear down each other, and let's build each other, and let's keep the sanctity yechikristu iri intact. Tikawanza maskiri nemaningikini. It's not just pastors, even gospel artists. Takuitawo zvepandering zvekutsvaga ma social media likes. Ndinoziva ndikanyora ningikini song inonzi muroi wako ngafe inorira zvisingaite because vanhu ndikati my haters in my song. It works, but some of it is not scriptural, and it ruins what we are doing. Vanhu vanotanga kungotiona sevanhu vasina basa, chikristu choshoreka.
That's true.
Then our kids who hate church zvakaita kueurope tosara tisina.
Very powerful session he did. But pane mubvunzo ndakangana kukubvunza, and I know people will be like, okay, we just know Tembalami is a gospel artist, and you mentioned it earlier on uchiti ndinobvunza kunzi what else do you do apart from music? So I was like, okay, now I want to know from you before you go. What do you do? Are you involved in any business? Or entrepreneurial projects?
Music itself is very entrepreneurial. You can't do music uridofo. And so we have multiple streams of income. We run a studio. We are working on a Shona Bible project.
Wow.
Gadzira an audio Bible Reshona.
Okay.
And we are in the process of doing that right now. We've got merchandise, we sell t-shirts and things like that go with our brand, and then we do concerts, and we also do mentorship, my influencer work, like I'm a brand ambassador with Prop. So I also sell properties and stands and things with them, and then there are other also companies that I'm a brand ambassador for, that I sell for, and First Mutual Life, kana mchidama medical aid message. So I've got a lot of companies that I work with as part of my brand and brand influencer and brand ambassador work. You're
doing very well. Thank you so much for coming, my brother Tembalami.
Thank you so much, Ola. You were very kind to me.
Are you related to Dr. Tagure?
Of course.
Oh, so you're actually related?
Yeah, but distant.
Okay.
But at the same time, my relatives enyu haite mari kuti imi muvatorere mari. So ndikutaura hama dzaola haana kubaridza makamera kuti mukumbire mari ndevana vake. Where you can help, you can help.
Yeah, thank you so much. So that was Tembalami Tagure on the Ola 7 podcast on the spot. I'm sure you've learned one or two things from Tembalami, if not 10 things, okay? Because he was really giving us life nuggets as we were discussing during the podcast. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, bye-bye.
Imagine harnessing the power of the sun to fuel your home or business. With Taste Solar, you can reduce your energy bills and carbon footprint. Taste Solar are experts in designing, installing, and commissioning smart solar systems. Available in 5 and 10 kilowatt systems. With Smart Solar, clients can monitor their systems from anywhere in the world, and maintenance can be done remotely. Switch to clean energy and join the sustainable future. Contact our team today. Schedule a consultation on the numbers appearing on screen now. Taste Solar. With solar energy, the future is bright.